You will be betrayed. That's the truth. You can run from it, deny it, pretend the people around you would never do that to you. But eventually, someone will. And it won't be some stranger. It'll be someone close, someone you let in, someone who knew exactly where to cut. A friend, a brother, maybe even blood. They'll smile in your face, then twist the knife when you least expect it, and you'll feel it. The anger, the confusion, the pain, the voice in your head asking, why would they do this to me? But here's why this matters. Betrayal doesn't just hurt, it changes men. It poisons trust. It turns good men into bitter ones. And if you don't learn how to control your response, it will rot you from the inside out. This isn't about pretending it didn't happen. Stoicism isn't about being numb. It's about owning your reaction, turning pain into power. This video will show you exactly how to do that. Because let's be honest, most men fall apart after betrayal. They whine, they spiral, they turn soft. But if you can't handle betrayal, you're not built for the life you say you want. This is how you rise above it. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Expect betrayal, and you will never be broken. Here's the problem. Most men walk through life naive. They build their circle, hand out their trust like candy, and believe loyalty is the default setting for everyone around them. Then boom, the betrayal hits, and they're crushed. Not because it was unexpected, but because they never expected it at all. But the Stoics, they saw through this illusion centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote it plainly. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, dishonest. He didn't say might be, he said will be. Why? Because Marcus wasn't interested in fantasy. He was interested in preparedness. He was an emperor. Betrayal was routine. And if you think your life is different, you're lying to yourself. You want to stop being shocked when people turn on you. Then you've got to stop pretending betrayal is rare. This isn't about becoming cynical. It's not about walking around paranoid, suspecting everyone of backstabbing you. It's about understanding human nature. People are flawed. People get jealous. People get weak. People lie when it benefits them. Even the good ones slip when pressure hits. So here's the truth. You don't flinch at betrayal if you already saw it coming. That's the masculine mindset. That's how a man protects his peace. He doesn't rely on people for emotional safety. He relies on himself. If someone proves loyal, great. If not, expected. Move on. You want to build emotional armor. You want to stop collapsing every time someone disappoints you. Then take this first step. Reframe betrayal as an inevitable test, not a tragedy, not the end of the world, just another test of your discipline, your clarity, your control, just another battle to sharpen you. Because here's what happens when you expect betrayal. You don't panic, you don't lash out, you don't crumble, you adapt. And to get to that level, here's what you do in real life. 1. Journal daily. Ask yourself, what am I emotionally unprepared for? That simple question builds anticipation. It forces your mind to see the blind spots where disappointment could hit you hardest. You stop being surprised. You start being ready. 2. Audit your emotional attachments. Who are you blindly loyal to? Who do you idolize? If you've got anyone in your life that you think could never betray you, you're putting them on a pedestal, and that's weakness. No one is above betrayal. Not your brother, not your girlfriend, not your mentor. Everyone bleeds red, and everyone is capable of turning. 3. Build your own code. Stop expecting others to live by yours. Most men confuse loyalty with control. They think I'd never do that to him, so he won't do it to me. That's emotional blindness. That's how you get blindsided. Instead, expect betrayal. Live by your own code, and never rely on someone else's. That's not pessimism, that's power, because when betrayal finally comes, and it will, you'll respond like a warrior, calm, focused, detached. While the weak man spirals into anger or depression, you stay composed. You look at the betrayal and say, I knew this was possible. I've trained for this moment. And just like that you win. Not because it didn't hurt, but because it didn't break you. Betrayal will always sting. That's reality, but it only destroys the man who's not ready for it. Expect betrayal, and you'll never be broken. Lesson 2. Control your response. Your emotions are your responsibility. Let's get one thing clear. You don't control what people do to you. You only control how you respond. That's the difference between a man who leads and a man who breaks. You see, betrayal isn't just an action, it's a trigger. And most men, they take the bait. They explode. They text walls of anger. They shout. They threaten. They cry. They let the betrayal pull them completely out of frame. And that's exactly where they lose. Because once someone controls your emotions, they control you. You're not a man anymore. You're a puppet, and they're pulling your strings. This is where Stoicism enters with a lesson that punches through the noise. Epictetus said it perfectly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Let that hit. It's not what happens, it's how you react to it. That's your power. That's your power. That's your domain. That's the only territory you can fully own in a world full of chaos and betrayal. So let me hit you with the truth. If you react with rage, you've already lost. If you let your emotions run the show, you've handed over control. And if your first instinct is vengeance, you're weak, not strong. Real strength is restraint. Real masculinity is measured by composure under pressure. That's what Stoicism builds. When betrayal hits, pause. When anger flares, breathe. When every bone in your body screams for revenge, wait. Here's what the modern man doesn't understand. Masculine power is silent at first. Controlled, calculated, cold. You don't need a reaction. You need a response. There's a difference. Let me break it down with real, actionable steps. Step 1. Take 24 hours of silence. No texts, no calls, no confrontations, just silence. Why? Because the first 24 hours after betrayal is when your emotions are at their peak and your logic is at its lowest. If you act now, you act like a child. If you wait, you act like a king. Give yourself space to breathe. You don't owe anyone your reaction. You don't need to clear the air. You need to sit with the fire and not be burned by it. Step 2. Breathe. Journal. Reflect. This isn't some fluffy self-help step. This is emotional strategy. Sit down and breathe. Not to relax, but to regulate. Get oxygen back to your brain. Then take out a journal or your phone and write down 3 things. What happened? How do I feel right now? What would a calm version of me do about this? This forces your brain to switch from emotional reaction to rational assessment. You slow the storm. You reclaim control. Step 3. Say nothing until you're clear. Never speak from confusion. Never speak from pain. Never speak just to be heard. Speak only when your thoughts are clear and your energy is composed. Why? Because once you speak from emotion, you say things you can't take back. You burn bridges that didn't need to be burned. You reveal wounds that don't need to be exposed. When you stay quiet, you keep your power. When you respond with clarity, you shift the dynamic. You stop being predictable. You stop being manipulated. You start moving from a place of strength. Now listen closely. When you control your emotions, you do more than protect your image. You protect your legacy. You become the man who doesn't flinch. The man who can sit in the fire and not scream. The man who doesn't panic, doesn't beg, doesn't explode. He analyzes, he adjusts, and then he acts. You don't burn bridges emotionally. You don't dig graves with your words. You operate like a tactician, not a wounded boy. That's what it means to keep your frame. Because at the end of the day, betrayal is just noise, but your response, that's the message. So the next time someone crosses you, don't react. Respond with calm, with clarity, with power. And remember, your emotions are not someone else's responsibility. They're yours. Own them, master them, command them. Lesson 3. Remove toxic people without drama. Let's talk about something most men mess up. Removing people, cutting them off, walking away. See, betrayal hits. And what do weak men do? They beg for closure. They wait for apologies. They post passive-aggressive quotes. They want to talk it out. They make a whole emotional circus out of it. But here's the truth. Betrayal doesn't need a response. It needs a decision. You don't need to understand someone who stabbed you in the back. You don't need to announce your departure. You don't need to explain why you're gone. You don't owe them anything. You just cut, clean, cold, final. That's how a Stoic operates. Seneca said it clearly. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those you yourself can improve. Simple, sharp, strategic. If someone poisons your mindset, drains your energy, or disrespects your loyalty, they don't belong in your life. Period. Betrayal is not a tragedy. It's clarity. It's the moment someone shows you who they really are, and your job. Believe them. Don't argue. Don't justify. Don't wait for them to change. Just act. Because real men don't dwell in betrayal. They extract the lesson and move forward, quietly. Let's break it down into what you need to do. Step 1. Audit your circle ruthlessly. Don't wait for betrayal to evaluate your relationships. Ask yourself this: who around me drains more than they give? Who talks loyalty but folds under pressure? Who benefits from my discipline but offers none in return? If someone around you consistently under-delivers, disrespects or deceives, you don't wait for a meltdown. You preemptively tighten your circle. Your circle should sharpen you, not soften you. If someone isn't helping you rise, they're holding you down, and that's dead weight. Cut it. Step 2. Set clear boundaries. Silently enforce them. You don't need to broadcast your standards. Just have them. And when someone crosses the line, you don't negotiate. You enforce. Don't argue. Don't explain. Don't try to make them understand. Let your silence speak. Maybe they ghosted you when you needed them. Maybe they lied. Maybe they disrespected your trust. Whatever it was, your standard was violated. That's enough. You don't need to yell. You don't need to warn. You don't need to make them feel what you felt. You just step back and don't return. That's power. Step 3. Stop explaining yourself. Make the cut and move on. This one's crucial. You don't need a dramatic ending. No final monologue. No emotional send-off. No closure talk. They made a decision. Now you make yours. That's it. You don't chase. You don't plead. You don't second guess. You cut once and never look back. Because here's the truth. If someone betrays you once and gets away with it, they'll do it again. And if you let them, that's on you. Cutting someone off isn't cruelty. It's clarity. It's control. It's self-respect. And real men don't apologize for protecting their peace. Let me leave you with this. You don't need drama to end a connection. You need standards. And when someone violates them, you act. Quietly, sharply, finally. No guilt, no noise, no back and forth. Just space, just distance, just absence. Because in the end, a man is defined by what he allows. And if you tolerate betrayal, disrespect or weakness in your circle, you're part of the problem. So clean your circle, tighten your tribe, and don't wait for permission to remove poison from your life. You're not running from the fight. You're removing distractions from your mission. Lesson 4. Use the pain. Let it sharpen you. Let's get one thing straight. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the path. Most men, they don't get this. When betrayal hits, they fold. They stop showing up. They sulk. They distract themselves. They look for pity. But a Stoic man, he feels every ounce of the pain, and he uses it. Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. What stands in the way becomes the way. What stands in the way becomes the way. You think betrayal is an obstacle? No, it's an opportunity. You think pain is the end? No, it's the ignition. That fire in your chest after someone lies to you, cheats you, stabs you in the back. That's raw power, but only if you direct it. Because there are only two options when pain enters your life. 1. Let it crush you. 2. Let it carve you. Real men choose the second. Real men use the pain. Let's make this brutally practical. Step 1. Channel the betrayal into physical discipline. When betrayal hits, your nervous system lights up. Rage, sadness, confusion. That energy has to go somewhere. So where do you put it? The gym, the grind, the mission. You take that emotional fire and you lift heavier. You run further. You work longer. You lock in harder. You put the betrayal under the bar. You bury it under sweat and reps. You take that mental chaos and translate it into discipline. You don't drink it away. You don't mope. You train. You build a weapon, your body. Let every rep be a reminder. You don't fall apart. You level up. Step 2. Extract the lesson in writing. Pain without reflection is wasted. So sit down, get a pen, and write the truth. What did this betrayal teach me about people? What did it expose in me? Weakness, blindness, naivete. Where was I too soft, too trusting, too unguarded? This isn't emotional venting. It's emotional refinement. Betrayal is feedback, and feedback is fuel. If you listen, you don't blame, you don't point fingers, you study the pain, you dissect it, you learn from it. Because here's the truth. Pain is a teacher that doesn't lie. Most men avoid that classroom. You walk into it head first. Step 3. Build something from the pain. This is what separates the average man from the exceptional one. When pain enters your life, create something with it. Start a business, start a skill, start rebuilding your body, your brand, your bank account. Don't just survive betrayal, transcend it. Use it as motivation to create a life so sharp, so solid, so successful, that you thank them for the betrayal, not out of spite, but out of growth. Because the moment they turned on you, they handed you a gift, clarity, focus, fuel, and you turned that into results. Let the pain sharpen your purpose. Let the betrayal forge your mission. Let their disloyalty tighten your standards. Listen carefully. Most men carry betrayal like a wound that never heals. You carry it like a weapon. You let it slice through distractions. You let it destroy your softness. You let it cut away every excuse you used to cling to. You become sharper, harder, more locked in than ever before. So the next time someone betrays you, don't spiral. Don't post about it. Don't seek sympathy. Smile, tighten your grip, and get to work. Because while they're watching to see you break, you're busy building. Pain sharpened you, betrayal leveled you up, and now you're more dangerous than ever. Lesson 5. Never lose faith in your purpose. Betrayal has a way of shaking a man's confidence. You start questioning yourself. Was I too much? Not enough? Did I deserve that? Why would they do this to me? You start spiraling. But here's the truth. Betrayal isn't about you, it's about them. But if you let it pull you off track, now it's about you. Because here's what most men get wrong. They treat betrayal like a sign to stop, to slow down, to heal. But the Stoic doesn't stop. The Stoic doubles down. He doesn't live to earn everyone's loyalty. He lives to fulfill his mission. That's the difference between men who collapse and men who conquer. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Translation: stop questioning who you are. Start acting like it. If betrayal made you doubt your purpose, here's the truth you need to hear. You were never committed to it in the first place. Because when your mission is clear, when your purpose is locked in, when your path is carved into your soul, no amount of betrayal can break your stride. Let's get into the practical mindset of a Stoic who refuses to break. Step 1. Re-anchor yourself to your goals. After betrayal, your mind wants to wander. Your energy scatters. Your focus drifts. You become reactive instead of relentless. This is when you go back to base. Pull out your journal. Review your vision. Revisit your goals. Ask yourself, what am I building? Why does it matter? What's non-negotiable? You have to re-anchor right now, because betrayal is noise and your purpose is the signal. Lock back in. Step 2. Remember, betrayal isn't the end. It's part of the climb. Every man on a mission will face betrayal. Think that's a coincidence. It's a pattern. The more you grow, the higher you rise, the more people will envy, resent, or abandon you. Betrayal isn't some tragic exception. It's the tax you pay for building something real. So stop taking it personal. It's part of the path, part of the climb, part of the process. The people who betrayed you, they didn't delay your destiny. They revealed it. Now that you see who's real and who's fake, now that you've been hardened by pain, now that you've survived what most men fold under, you're more equipped than ever to move forward. Step 3. Rebuild your routine, ruthlessly. When betrayal hits, your routine usually collapses. You skip workouts, you slack off work, you spend hours overthinking. This is where weak men stay stuck. Stoic men, they do the opposite. They rebuild their routine with ruthless intent. Wake up earlier, train harder, eat cleaner, plan sharper, eliminate distractions. Every move becomes more precise. You cut the fat, you remove emotional clutter, you build a schedule that aligns with the mission and nothing else. Why? Because when your world gets shaken, your routine becomes your anchor. You don't wait to feel better. You act like a man with a purpose. Step 4. Build with detachment. No one has to come with you. Here's the final truth. Your mission is yours. Not everyone will support it. Not everyone will understand it. And no one is required to come with you. That includes family, friends, women, business partners, anyone. Detachment doesn't mean apathy. It means you're unshaken. If they betray you, you don't stop. If they abandon you, you don't slow down. You keep moving, alone if needed, stronger if required. You don't beg anyone to believe in you. You become undeniable. You build in silence. You move with precision. You stay on path, even if no one claps for you. That's detachment. That's stoicism. That's masculine purpose. Let's wrap this up. You were betrayed. So what? You're still breathing. You're still capable. You're still called to something higher. You don't stop because someone was disloyal. You rise because your loyalty was never to them. It was to your mission. Let the pain push you. Let the betrayal focus you. Let the loneliness sharpen you. Because at the end of the day, the stoic man doesn't chase comfort, loyalty, or praise. He chases one thing, purpose. And once you lock into yours, you become untouchable. Let me make this brutally clear. You will be betrayed again. Not maybe, not possibly, definitely. And when it happens, it'll sting. But here's what matters. What you do with that betrayal, that's what defines you. You can cry about it. You can wallow, spiral, blame everyone but yourself. Or you can do what few men are willing to do. Turn pain into power. Use it to harden your mind, sharpen your purpose, cut off the weak, and walk forward with absolute focus. Because that's what stoic masculinity looks like. Not emotional numbness, but emotional control. Not hiding from pain, but using it as fuel. Not begging for peace, but becoming the storm. So here's your next move. If you're ready to stop being a victim and start becoming unbreakable, take action now. Don't just nod your head. Commit, hit like, subscribe, lock in. Because on this channel we're not building talkers, we're building warriors. Men who don't run from betrayal, they rise from it. Now get to work.